How many people do you know who struggle with their health? Chances are, whether they show it or not, most of the people in your life do. And chances are, you're one of them. Whether you're dealing with anxiety, depression, endometriosis, acne, eczema, autoimmune, thyroid, Lyme, brain fog, fatigue, or any other symptom or condition, you're far from alone. Living with symptoms has become the new normal. So no more guessing games. It's time to get answers. Welcome to the Medical Medium Podcast. I'm Anthony William. We're talking about parasites. That's right, parasites. But really, we're talking about the parasitical scam. Now, if you're somebody that believes in parasites, there's nothing wrong with that, because parasites are real. Yes, they are indeed. In fact, a piece of meat sitting out in the sun during a picnic will collect a lot of different microbes, a lot of different foodborne illnesses. Just like egg salad. Can't leave egg salad in the sun either, because something will happen. The mayonnaise, the mayo, those eggs sitting out there, something bad will happen to them. You can get really sick, very ill. You can't eat uncooked chicken, uncooked turkey. Why? Because you can die. Yes, you can die. And you can't just eat raw meat, because there could be a parasite on there, without a doubt. That parasite can really hurt you. There also could be some bad bacteria there too. Yes, parasites are real, but so is the parasite scam. If you're someone that's been told you have parasites or you have a parasite, and now you're going to be dedicating all your time and energy doing parasitical cleanses, chasing parasites, looking at parasite info out there, and making your whole life about a parasite, you might want to listen to this episode. To start with, the parasite biohack movement has been around. It was around years ago. And many of the earlier chronically ill people with mysterious chronic illness, got into the parasite movement. They were looking for answers and they tried everything. And so hearing that parasites could be their problem lured them in. It was the next flashy thing, the next shiny object. They went into it thinking, whoa, I'm going to be fixed. I'm going to be cured. But it didn't work. People didn't get cured. They didn't get fixed. In fact, they got sicker. They were doing all kinds of intestinal cleansers that are out there now, bentonite clay, different clays, thinking they were ridding parasites. They were trying to get parasites out of their intestinal tract. They were using wormwood, shilajit, fulvic minerals, fulvic acid, sodium bicarbonate, and chlorine dioxide. Simultaneously, as all this was happening during this time, the Lyme disease movement was shifting. No longer was it just bacteria, it was hybrids now. Hybrids such as Babesia. Babesia wasn't considered a bacteria, it was considered a parasite, although that is a debate still worth having. To begin with, they never found Babesia. They never found Bartonella. And they never found Borrelia. But yet, these were the bacteria and parasitical hybrids that were being touted at the time. So as the Lyme disease movement was growing into that, there was the parasitical movement on the other end of the spectrum. They were working off of each other, but still all in the wrong direction. When someone had a blood test looking for Lyme bacteria, the Lyme bacteria was never found. Instead, it was an inflammatory marker test, but nobody knew that at that time. They still don't know it today. Medical medium information exposed it. So Lyme disease took a turn, and it went for cofactors. It was all about cofactors. Cofactor parasites, like hybrids like Babesia. So both the health movement at the time, a small batch of people were focused on parasites, while at the same time a small batch of doctors were focused on parasites with Lyme disease, Babesia. And it never got anybody anywhere. The people with thyroid disease and chronic illness and vertigo and dizziness and aches and pains and tremors and shakes and tics and spasms and restless leg syndrome and back pain, foot pain, neck pain, and severe fatigue weren't being fixed by either side. The protocols for Lyme disease were intense, harsh antibiotics, and the protocols for so-called parasite issues in the health movement were cleansers, cleansing products, clays, intestinal clays, shilajit, fulvic minerals, fulvic acid, chlorine dioxide, sodium bicarbonate, cassia-pod, apple cider vinegar, charcoal, colostrum, wormwood, and alkaline ionizer water. And nothing worked. People stayed sick. They were chronically ill. Lots of mysterious symptoms. People went through the machine. They went through the meat grinder. They had nowhere to go. Nothing was working. One reason, it wasn't parasites. Parasites were not why people were sick with chronic illness. But parasites made sense to people. It made sense to them. This mysterious, weird critter living inside of a person. It made a lot of sense. It was a fly trap. It brought people in left and right. Parasitical cleanses were huge. They were huge because people were thinking that was the answer. But they tried them, been there, done that, and it didn't fix people. Hordes of people. So then the parasitical world started to die. That's right. In the health movement, it started to die. It fell off the map and was taken over. It was taken over once again by candida, by fungus. It was taken over once again by sugar. Sugar being the problem. Sugar, fruit fear took it over. So new things started. Fruit fear, sugar. Sugar was the cause of everybody's chronic illness. Everybody believed it. Everybody was told it. Here to high heaven, it was all about sugar. Parasites took the back seat, died off. Sugar was the evil doer. It was the evil one. It was Satan to everybody. Everybody was afraid of sugar in every shape, fashion, or form. Fruit was evil, was very frightening. And along with the fruit fear came the protein deficiencies. You're not getting enough protein. That's why you're sick. That's got to be the answer. You're not getting enough protein, so you're dying. So you're fatigued. So you're having chronic illness. You must be protein deficient. And at the same time, years ago, a new storm was occurring. Oxalates, oxalic acid. Everybody was starting to believe that was the cause of their illness. That's why they had chronic illness. That's why they were in wheelchairs. That's why they were sick. That's why they couldn't function. That's why they had ADD. That's why they had brain fog. It must have been oxalic acid. Oxalates. That was the big one. It covered up the parasitical craze. Parasitical craze died. Oxalic acid arrived. Candida came back. And protein was God. And then an upsurge of alkaline water. So everybody who's chronically sick ended up buying the alkaline ionizer water machines, thinking this would be the fix-all, that this would take care of it. But the machines ended up in the closets, everybody's closets. People couldn't give them away fast enough because they were getting worse drinking the water, even from the best machines that are out there today. They didn't know that the metal plates inside the machines were corroding, just like they do today and will always do. The corrosion released oxidation, microparticles of metals entering into people. So that wasn't the answer either, and still isn't the answer today. But back then, they had their day, their upsurge, and then the alkaline ionizer water machine died. It receded and fell back, just like the parasite world. In fact, all of these things fell back and died. And there was a great big hole in the health world, the health movement. People sick and exhausted. Tried everything, been there, done that. Nothing worked, and they were all sick. Chronic illness was on the rise. People didn't have answers to why they were even sick. And biohacks of that era were on life support. Maybe you were there. Maybe this has meaning to you. Maybe you tried everything, done that, been there. And maybe this is all just new to you. But it's important to know, imperative to know, when it comes down to being sick and healing. It's important to know that the parasitical scam was here before. and it's here now again. And no disrespect to anyone. It doesn't mean someone's trying to truly scam someone. A lot of people could have their heart in it. They could have investments in it, time, money, energy, and truly believe in what they're doing. And some could be scamming people because that's the industry now. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Now let's talk about parasites and get deeper into it. Parasites are real. They exist. They're on every single raw piece of beef, raw piece of chicken. They're all over packages in the grocery store. There's parasites all over packages around meat and pork and chicken and fish. If you go into a grocery store and you buy some fish that's wrapped in plastic in a container, or some pork or some beef, it'll be on the outside of the container. There'll be parasites all over the outside. And in a display case, you see fish of all kinds, seafood, or another display case where you see organ meats and pork and chicken and grass-fed beef. There's parasites everywhere, all over it. All kinds of different microbes, bad microbes, not good microbes. And from a scale 1 to 10, some of those parasites could be extremely dangerous. Some of them could be very mild. Now, the mild ones get killed off easy in your gut. All you need is just a little bit of HCl, a little bit of hydrochloric acid naturally inside your stomach, produced by your stomach glands. And that hydrochloric acid is your parasitical killer. In fact, you eat parasites often and don't know it. Your HCl is killing and destroying those parasites. There's parasites on people's hands. There's parasites on door handles. There's parasites in bathrooms and bathroom sink handles. There's parasites in restaurants, on food you ordered. And most all of these parasites don't bother anybody because they die off. They get killed off. They get killed off fast. Sometimes just in our mouths. Sometimes in our stomach. Sometimes in our duodenum. And even in our small intestinal tract. But they die off. They get killed. These parasites that we actually eat a lot of and don't even realize it or get exposed to it a lot, die off. They don't stick around. They don't stay anywhere. They don't stay in the liver. They don't stay in the intestinal tract. They don't stay in the stomach. They don't stay in the rectum. They don't stay anywhere. These parasites come and they go as fast as they came. They die. And our immune system has a big part involved with killing them. Our immune cells love parasites. They feed off of them. They destroy them. They gobble them up. They break them apart and they discard them. And all of this is happening when you don't even know it. You're not even aware of it. Your immune system destroys level 1, level 2, 3, 4, 5, level 6, level 7 parasites. Now keep in mind there's hundreds of varieties of parasites not registered, not documented. There are thousands of varieties of different forms of microbes and parasites, and they all fall under the parasite umbrella. And science doesn't care. There's no money involved. There's no money to be made. Research and science doesn't study them. They're aware they exist. They're aware there's a lot of microbes out there. Many harmless, many not harmless, and many dangerous. Yes, dangerous. Level 8, 9, 10, and beyond. Very dangerous. Can kill someone. That's right, can kill someone. So let's get into that a little bit. You go down to Mexico and you drink the water in a basin or a ravine or a canal or a pond, and you drink that water, you're not going anywhere. You'd be lucky if you made it home because you picked up a parasite. That's right, a parasite, a real parasite, floating around in dirty water, swimming around in dirty water, an amoeba or some other form of parasite sitting in that water. And if you drink it, you'd be lucky if you can get home, and most likely you'll just end up in the hospital and you'll be in there fighting for your life with dysentery, a broad term for some type of food poisoning or parasitical infection. Now, with this parasitical infection, you have to win. Yes, you have to heal. You have to get better. What that means is you can't live with it. Your body won't allow you to live with a parasite. So it's kill or be killed. It's either the parasite kills you, which happens to a lot of people, or your body kills the parasite. But you can't live with it long term. You can't be somebody with chronic illness going for years and years thinking you've had a parasitical infection, a chronic parasitical infection all these years, and that's your problem, because it's not. You can't live with a parasite in your system. Your body has to kill it, and that killing of it is the war. And that war is sickness in the moment. Death-defying sickness for a lot of people, or difficult sickness for a lot of people, or mild sickness for a lot of people, but it's only temporary. It's you win or the bug wins. You win or the parasite wins. It's not, I'm sick for 10 years. Whoa, I just learned that maybe if I do a parasite cleanse, that'll fix it because I must have a parasite. Nope, that's not how it works. It's you win or the parasite wins. Same thing if you end up with food poisoning. You eat in a restaurant, something was in the food, some foodborne pathogen. Yes, a parasite. A foodborne pathogen. A parasite. And you eat that, and now you're sick. You're throwing up, you're vomiting. You have diarrhea. You have the runs. It won't stop. You're in tremendous pain. Agony, the worst kind. You try to push through. A day goes by. You're going through the vomits again. You're going through the runs again. You're going through the diarrheas again. And you can't get better. Something's wrong. Getting dehydrated. Now you're at the hospital. You're hooked up to an IV and they put you on some kind of painkiller, maybe even morphine to dumb down the pain, and you try to rest while your immune system tries to kill off whatever that foodborne pathogen is, whatever that parasite is, because the war is on. It's not about living simultaneously, living in harmony, living in some way down the road together. It doesn't work like that. The bug, the foodborne pathogen, has to be killed. Same thing with aggressive forms of E. coli that aren't the normal forms of E. coli. The aggressive foodborne varieties, they have to be killed. You can't live with them. So you lay in the hospital while your body fights for its life, while your immune system fights for your life, while the doctors can't do anything about it besides keep you hydrated, keep you plugged into a salt bag, to an IV, and then give you painkillers so you can rest and try to get some sleep, allowing your body to heal. And that is foodborne pathogens. That's food poisoning. That's parasites. Those are parasites that are aggressive, and they can come in any old shape and size because there's hundreds of them and thousands of them. And most of them harmless because we kill them off fast. Our HCl kills them. The more aggressive the parasite, the less chance our HCl can kill them, especially if our HCl, hydrochloric acid, is weakened, in a weakened state. Our stomach glands aren't producing good HCl. We've been drinking coffee for years. Our stomach glands are wasted. We have adrenaline surges from fight or flight. Maybe we have vices that actually cause adrenaline surges that burn out our gastric glands. And the HCl is not there. It's not strong enough. It's not at the quantity or the level it needs to be, so pathogens escape. They bypass the stomach, they enter the duodenum, and down into the intestinal tract. They could even find their way into the liver if they can't be stopped. Now, these are parasitical pathogens, foodborne pathogens, parasites, not viruses, not stealth viruses, not multitudes of bacteria and different forms of bacteria like strep. These are food-related bugs. These are water-related bugs, dirty water, stagnant, still water. Food poisoning and food poisoning stories you see and hear out there all the time, and they're even in the media now, where 3 members of a family die, and they die before they even get to the hospital, or they die in the hospital. 1 dies at home, 2 die in the hospital. This happens all the time. That's parasites, really aggressive ones. And it's you or the parasite. You go down or the parasite goes down. There's no other way. It's not something you live with from here on out, where you improve in the hospital and now you're better enough to get out of the hospital. Now you're home and you're sick because you still have the parasite, or you still have the parasite for weeks and weeks and months. Now, you might be injured and triggered by a parasitical infection, which leaves you sick for years after a situation like this, but you don't have the parasite anymore. You know how you know you don't have the parasite anymore? You're still standing. You're still breathing, because you would have died. The parasite would have killed you. Milder parasites and foodborne pathogens, foodborne illness, foodborne parasites, milder, less aggressive ones, you kill fast. Your HCl and your immune cells kill and destroy quickly, and you move on. It could be one bout of diarrhea. It could be one bout of vomiting, and then you're good, and maybe just a rough night. You're good the next day. You start picking up your pace, and you're back to normal. Or you don't even know what happened. Your body killed it off real fast. You got strong HCl, strong immune system, immune cells, and it was annihilated. And annihilated within the hour or half an hour after eating or getting exposure or getting some tainted water or getting something in your mouth that led to this. But somebody sick for 20 years with chronic illness, with different symptoms and conditions and neurological problems, are not living with a parasite. This is a misguided mistake by people in the health movement that have no idea why people are sick still. Even though they seem qualified, or they know a lot about vaccines, or they know a lot about all kinds of different problems in health, or food chemicals, or processed foods, and they're all talking a good game, they still don't know why chronically ill people are chronically ill. But it seems logical. It seems like it makes sense. If I was somebody sick with all kinds of neurological problems and different symptoms, and I heard maybe it's parasitical and a parasite, and I thought, well, my doctors probably don't know. I've been to 50 doctors in the last 8 years, and maybe this is the answer. I have a parasite. Surely that's what it must be. It sounds like it. Everybody's talking about it. That must be what I have. And you could be somebody that's like, whoa, I got sick last year. It's probably a parasite from all the information I'm seeing out there now, without realizing what happened 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 12 years ago, 25 years ago, not knowing about the parasitical understanding, the trend, how it works, and the parasite scam. What people are really living with, what they're really dealing with, are pathogens, yes, but stealth viruses. That's what they've always been living and dealing with. It's stealth viruses, Epstein-Barr, shingles, HHV6, HHV7, different varieties of herpes of all kinds, undiscovered varieties, plus simplex 1, simplex 2. People are living with multiple varieties of these at one time. 2 varieties of Epstein-Barr, a variety of shingles, and a cold sore virus, herpes simplex 1, all at the same time, along with bacteria, strep varieties. Some people can pick up over a lifetime 10, 15, 20 varieties of strep. Some aggressive, causing chronic sinusitis, causing mucus in their chest, in their lungs, causing severe acne, UTIs, kidney infections, bladder infections, BV, bacterial vaginosis, and living with difficult strep varieties that are antibiotic resistant. Not just one antibiotic resistant strain, but multiple. And some people have a little bit of everything. They'll have some strep, other varieties of bacteria too. They'll have staph, maybe some C. diff, maybe they'll have 2 Epstein-Barrs, and they can live miserable because there's different varieties of these bugs, some more aggressive, some milder, depending on the person's immune system, their deficiencies. Are they zinc deficient? Are they B12 deficient? And so forth. People have chronic illness because of pathogens. They also have chronic illness because of toxic heavy metals. Both metals and pathogens equal chronic illness, chronic mystery long-term illness, and autoimmune. Where do parasites fit in with all this? Nowhere. They don't fit in anywhere. Parasites are a problem that when you get one, has to be killed off. Your body has to do it. That's the fight for your life. If it's a mild parasite, very minimal issues can occur. You may not even know you had a parasite. Your HCl killed it, and it's gone. Medical medium information broke barriers. The discovery of all these different viruses, stealth, living in us, causing neurological symptoms. It changed everything in health. People found answers, and they knew what kind of protocols to use to heal. And those protocols were entirely different than the trends of yesteryear, of years ago. The opposite of fulvic minerals, fulvic acid, bentonite clays and other different clays, shilajit, apple cider vinegar, chlorophyll, alkaline water, chlorine dioxide, sodium bicarbonate, charcoal, colostrum, just to name a few. These never worked. They didn't work for people years ago. They don't work for people today. And part of the reason why so many people are healing from chronic illness is the things that do work. The medical medium information that brought in olive leaf, licorice, propolis, golden seal, elderberry, zinc, vitamin C, B12, cat's claw, and many other tools turned people around, got their lives back with chronic symptoms, neurological symptoms, because it was based on killing off pathogens, medical medium information, killing off stealth viruses like Epstein-Barr. That's how people got their lives back. They got their lives back then, and they're getting their lives back now. But the parasitical world is upsurging again, and they're talking the same game as yesteryear of decades ago. They're talking about parasites when that's not what people are suffering with. That's not why people can't think with their brain fog, have Alzheimer's, dementia, memory problems, have tics and spasms, aches and pains, neurological symptoms galore, restless leg syndrome, balance issues, dizziness, vertigo, tinnitus. It's not why people are sick, but it's a good lure. They bring them in, they get them to listen, because you have people, a whole new batch of people, newbies, new sick bees. They're there, they're sick now, they don't know why they're sick. They already went through the merry-go-round a little bit. They've already went from doctor to doctor. They don't have answers. And parasites seem perfect. It only makes sense. So they follow these doctors and follow these practitioners and these health coaches and the influencers, and they think they have parasites. But something's changed about the parasitical protocols. They're a little different and even a lot different now. They have pieces of medical medium information. They have medical medium tools. They have lemon balm. They got B12. They got zinc. Interesting. They didn't have that before. They didn't have that before the medical medium books and the medical medium information. They only had their shilajit. They only had their fulvic minerals, fulvic acid, their sodium bicarbonate, their alkaline water, their chlorophyll. They only had those. They didn't have anything else. But now you hear cat's claw out there. Well, that's interesting. It's a medical medium tool for chronic illness and neurological diseases and conditions and symptoms. Can that be a good thing? They're poaching medical medium tools, but using it for parasites. It could be good in the way where someone might get a benefit. They might actually get a little window into healing, but it'll be stopped instantly when they offer something that is toxic or doesn't work and it goes against it. They use a medical medium tool, goes with the grain. Then they use something highly toxic, goes against the grain. And then people just don't really truly get better, and they believe they have parasites when they don't. And that's sad, because we're not making the progress we need to make. We need to know why we're sick. We need to know why we have neurological symptoms. We need to understand that, and then we need the tools to fix it. The medical medium information about what pathogens, what stealth viruses, what bacteria, what toxic heavy metals, what other poisons, what other toxins, what other exposures, and what about the tools? We need the right tools for the right problems. Having the answers matter instead of chasing our tails. Having little tidbits is fun, but we're just playing the game. And when it comes down to health, time matters. Wasting time matters. We have to be able to heal. We need to be doing things that are working. We need to understand why we're sick to begin with. And that's the sad thing. People, they don't know. They don't know why they're sick with these mystery symptoms. They're hearing tidbits that have been poached throughout the years from medical medium. They're hearing different things. It sounds good, sounds like it might work. Maybe if they're lucky, they'll get a poached tool that does help, but in the end, they're still in the dark, and it's really sad. Parasites aren't the problem. They're not the reason why people are suffering and sick out there. Yes, parasites are dangerous, but you now know how and why. Check out the Medical Medium book series. Pick up a Brain Saver book or a Brain Saver Protocols book. Your mind will be blown when you read the information in there. Get it from the library for free. It doesn't matter. Go to medicalmedium.com, check out more information, free information. There's no paywall. And subscribe to my newsletter too if you get a chance, and check out my Telegram. Many blessings, take care, and God bless you. There's a big difference. The parasites that knock you so hard you take a fall. Get up from the dinner table. You got some food poisoning. You're barfing in the toilet all night long. Huge difference. Then worms that creepy crawl. The worms that people get inside of them that can live in synchronicity with everyone all day long. The tapeworm can grow and grow and grow and get very long, but is easily spotted and killed so the person can go back to their normal lifelong. A heartworm in your pet can be stopped by a good vet. There are lots of annoying worms, but they're different than chronic illness itself. Different than so many people suffering with different neurological symptoms, struggling so much they can't even move through their day. Those are viruses and pathogens, bacteria that keep people in that way. And those stealth pathogens aren't parasites, the ones that knock people down. Parasites, parasites that keep people in their hospital beds. Those parasites are so much different, they stay with you until you're dead. Unless your body kills that parasite, you're free to live another night. The body's battle against a parasite is much different than the battle against stealth viruses and bacteria. Different. We can live with stealth viruses in our body for the rest of our life. And worms are different than parasites and stealth viruses. They're much different. We can live with them our whole life and not even have them cause a symptom. Yes, some worms, like a tapeworm, can get really big and hurt us, but they can be found really easily and killed within us. Don't be fooled. These are 3 different things. These are the rules. Parasites, worms, and pathogens. Try not to forget again.
Original published medical medium information gets stolen and poached by podcast doctors, social media doctors, influencers, and medical clinics. Medical medium information has never yet been proven wrong by medical science and research. Instead, the opposite, only proven right and then taken from medical medium published material and used in the conventional and alternative health communities. Medical medium information continually sets the stage for medical science to understand chronic illness better. If you choose to share or use the original, unique content from the Medical Medium podcast, books, or Medical Medium social media, please cite where this information comes from, so others who see and learn of this information have a chance to know where it all originates, to give them an opportunity to heal, so they don't end up losing years of their life searching for answers like so many have before them. The Medical Medium information here on this podcast doesn't come from broken science, interest groups, medical funding with strings attached, botched research, lobbyists, internal kickbacks, persuaded belief systems, private panels of influencers, health field payoffs, trendy traps, or gathered bits and pieces of gimmicky confusion. Because chronic illness is exploding like never before in our modern day history, it takes a greater force than us down here. It takes a helping hand from above. Medical medium information has street cred. It's an organic movement of countless people around the world healing. More healing stories of real people not being paid to tell their life-changing experiences of rising out of the ashes of sickness and entering into the light of full recovery, getting their lives back and finally healing when nothing else in the world of health could move the needle and get them better. The information on this podcast is not man-made. It It comes from above, from a higher source. Whatever you believe in, whether God, the universe, the light, or the creator, or if you believe in nothing at all, that we're just floating through space together on this rock. Know that the information you hear on this podcast is separate from all the other noise out there. It comes from a different place, a pure, untampered with, advanced, clean, uncorrupted, original, primary source, a higher source, spirit of compassion.